What would it be like to be overly focused on quality? Well, it would bring total paralysis. So you have to stop just short of that. It's kind of essentially what people, recommend. So that while taking quality seriously, you realize that things may need to be iterated, and that many great works didn't appear all at once, but so in some ways, because that also helped me while I'm making the anxiety class, knowing that there is going to be a process back and forth, that I would love for this class to be something that, I don't know, that we could invest 15 million into producing the perfect one. So this is like V1, but at least the ideas are mature and solid and coherent and elegantly unite so that it all fits together. And then how we actually explain things, how things get worded, what kind of, now we're working on, how do we do the graphics to make it appealing and to increase people's ability to take in, the learning. Okay, well, all of that then is going to be iterative. So I think a lot of work does in fact have this iterative quality open to it, that you can keep coming back and making it better. Certainly your work in the website itself is iterative, that we're always kind of iterating on it.
Right. Yeah. On the other hand, I guess if Cal likes to use the example of, from natural things, a farmer, he's got a deadline when he has to get the crops in, or, but I don't know, before some natural event or before everyone starts starving. So you can't exactly, you can't delay those events. You got to finish by that time. Maybe that's one of the differences between knowledge work and those types of activities. I guess, one thing, and this gets a little bit back to what we were talking about before in natural rhythms, that it's nice to have, after you complete a big project, it's nice to kind of take a break, have almost a sabbatical or something, just to rest, recharge. But I guess one of the concerns I would have with this focus on productivity is that you start to think that, well, the rest is for the sake of more productivity, as opposed to, okay, what is really the point of my work? And I think this is where at OptimalWork we talk about ideals of especially love and service in the context of work, deepening bonds with other people. And it seems to me that what he's saying is compatible with that, but he doesn't as much talk about it. So I'm trying to get your thoughts of how ideals and bonds and service ties into slow productivity.
Maybe it's worth reviewing the distinction of the two kinds of goods that come from any kind of work. One good is transitive and the other is intransitive. So transitive goods are what Cal Newport's talking about. It's the quality of the finished product, the artifact that you end up making. So, and that's only what he's focused on, is what does it take to produce this high quality output? Now, that transitive good is actually an outcome. It's an outcome that's in the finished thing. And I am more concerned, because I think, in fact, it's more motivating to be looking at the intransitive goods, which is the quality in the person who does the finishing. So by putting attentiveness into the finished product, you become more attentive. And that attentiveness could then be even lived in the contexts that are higher. So it could apply to the bonds that you have with others. So there is a quality of attentiveness, let's say, that's united. It's one thing in the finished product, that's the transitive attentiveness, and it's another in the person themselves, that's the intransitive. It's intransitive because it doesn't pass out of you, it stays within you. So I'm most concerned in OptimalWork, this is what we focus on, at focusing on those internal qualities, and then trusting that they lead, in fact, to finished work being of higher quality. So I would rather that we focus mostly on how we are growing, thinking of the kind of skills, that's the mastery part he's talking about, but then also ideals, which is self-mastery. and then bonds with others, which is the whole purpose of mastery, is to eventually be able to have better bonds with others in your life. So I think there's this kind of vertical directionality that I'm most interested in. But it's served by this kind of horizontal level of just looking at what the finished product is like. But if you only focus on the finished product, it doesn't answer the question why to do it. Why be productive? Yeah. And just the very concept of productivity, it means you're talking about the product, the outcome. So that's a limitation inherent, not in Cal Newport, but in the concept of productivity, that it ends up with this focus on the done deed, the finished act, rather than what are the kind of ideals that lead us to do this.